This next project is for you classic trucks guys, and it deals with the largest and generally the most overlooked area on your truck. And I am talking about the bed. And you know, that's ironic too, because this is usually the first place that somebody will come up and go, "What do you got?" And you want it to look good. Now, obviously, if you want it to look good, you want to put some wood in there. And the wood that most people use is oak. And the reason is pretty obvious. I mean, oak is some good-looking stuff. But what if you want something a little different? I mean, there's a lot of different types of wood out there. I mean, there's cherry, there's ash, there's maple, there's mahogany. Where are you going to find that kind of stuff? Not going to find it at your local hardware store. But I've got a source for you. It's called Bed Wood and Parts, and they specialize in custom woodworking and custom bed kits for classic trucks. Now, here's how it works. You basically tell them the year, make, and model of what you're working on, or if it's a custom application like the hauler here, you give them some dimensions, and they will build you a custom wood bed kit in pretty much whatever wood you want. Now, take a look at this. This is called wormy maple. Now, look at the contour and the character of this wood. This is fantastic. Now, obviously, this is already cleared, ready to go in the truck, and it does not come from Bed Wood and Parts that way. It's up to you to do that. So, before I put this in, show you how nice it's going to look, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do a nice finish on your wood. First, obviously, the wood needs to be as smooth and as flat as possible. And even though it comes pretty slick, it's always a good idea to do some final sanding on it with some fine grit sandpaper to get it just how you want it. Also, remember, sharp corners are notorious for causing thin spots in the clear. So, a little trick is to slightly round the sharp edges, and that'll prevent that. Also, don't forget to do the back and the sides. Now, once your sanding is done, it is time for your stain and your sealer. And you can pick this stuff up at just about any hardware store across the nation in whatever color you can imagine. And this is where you get to decide just exactly what you want your wood to look like, because you've got a lot of options here. Now, a couple things to remember when you're putting on your stain and sealer. To keep the finish from looking splotchy, apply the stain using long strokes going with the grain the whole length of the board. Also, make sure that you don't leave any little puddles on the wood, because those will be darker. And of course, once again, do not forget to do the sides and the back of the board too. This will prevent moisture from getting in and swelling the wood. Now, once your stain is on, or if you're skipping that step, it is time for your clear. Now, for that, you've got some choices here. You can use any number of these polyurethanes that you can pick up at your local hardware store with great results. That's what most people do. Just make sure you put on 2 or 3 coats. And this is what you end up with. Yeah, really nice. Now, if you want to go even a step further than this and want that wood to lay just as smooth and as slick as glass, well, you'll want to skip the paint-on polyurethane and go with a true automotive clear, and you'll just spray that on just like a regular paint job. And here is what that looks like. Yeah, a super slick piece of wood that you can actually buff and polish just like a normal paint job. Now, I realize doing it this way is a lot more time, a lot more effort, but trust me, you will not find a better finish than this. Now, once you have your wood all finished out the way you want it, now it's just a matter of setting it in place, lining everything up, and bolting it in. The final step to this project is to put in our accessories, starting with this 14-gallon Moon gas tank, which is going to be killer in this bed. Yeah. We're going to follow that up with this really cool thinned aluminum battery box that we got from Bitchin' Products. Now, it is custom made for an Optima battery, so you not only get a good battery, but it looks really cool too. Now, hopefully at this point, you've done all your drilling and all your fitting, so it's just a matter of bolting stuff in. But if you've forgotten something, or if you've overlooked it and you got to go in and do some drilling and fitting, that's all right. Just make sure that if you do that, that you come in and put some sealer in the holes, because if you don't, you're going to be asking for water damage in those holes later on. And that is what you end up with. Now take a look at that. What you've got is a bed that's every bit as unique as the rest of your vehicle, and that is what you want.
These clips are great, but to see where Country Legacy lives in full episodes, go to countryroadtv.com.